All right, here we go. 115-pound girls high school wrestling preview. State of Ohio 2023, brought to you by Bodycraft Fitness. At first glance, this one looks like it's a bit watered down. I hate to say that because I actually think the opposite. I think it's very, very competitive. But when you just look at it on paper, you've only got 6 state qualifiers that are returning in this bracket. You might think, well, that's a decent amount, but only two of them have placed before. So only 2 returning state place winners in this bracket. So you might think, well, this is kind of a weak weight class. But what I like about it is because of that, there's a lot of girls in this weight class that have beaten each other, are familiar with each other, and are really, really competitive with one another. So I really think 15 is going to be a really fun weight class to watch. At the top of the heap is Kira Cole. She's ranked number 1 in the state, and she is going to be the one to beat. Before I get into the rundown, let me go ahead and give you everybody else in the bracket. We got Lexi Grant from Oak Hills, Kayla Grooms from Adena, Avery Horning from Alliance, Morgan Leonard from Gibsonburg, Kelsey Lash from Western Reserve, Molly Wells from Delaware, Alora Strouser from Alter, Emma Reinhardt is from Mount Vernon, Kira Cole, as I mentioned, she's from Miami East, Sarah Spahn from Minerva, Josie Nikoloff from Olentangy Orange, Mia Hotchkiss from Harrison, Addison Rudolph from Central Crossing, Mia Skinner from Hillsboro, Hallie Winslow from Elgin, and Lydia Gould from Keystone. Those are your 16 wrestlers that qualified for the Schottenstein Center. First year of sanctioning in the Schott, and happy to have those 16 on board. So as I mentioned, Kira Cole's going to stand out from the rest. She is a Fargo All-American. She took 5th at 16U at the national tournament in Fargo over the summer. She also took 8th at junior, so she's a double Fargo All-American. She 2 different age groups there, and she was able to get it done. That's a very, very impressive. She is nationally ranked at number 13 in the nation. She's going to be a step ahead of the rest of the girls around her. However, as I mentioned, there's going to be a lot of competition and familiarity with these girls that are gunning for that finals match. So at number 2, ranked number 2, is Addison Rudolph from Central Crossing. Morgan Leonard is ranked number 3 from Gibsonburg. Lexi Grant from Oak Hills is ranked 4. Josie Nikoloff is 5. Alora Strouser is 6. She was ranked at 120 pounds and comes to 15. Lydia Gould is ranked 7th. Molly Wells is 8. Mia Hotchkiss is 9. And rounding out is Emma Reinhardt at 11. Now, these girls, as I mentioned, are very familiar with one another. They have wrestled each other multiple times, and as often seen in the girls' rankings and girls' matches, they wrestle each other a lot more than the boys do. Quite frankly, the numbers aren't there, so you're not going to have the big brackets and tournaments all over the state, although more and more are coming. It's just the numbers aren't there. So these girls see each other a lot. Here's what I love about it as compared to the boys. They're not afraid to wrestle one another. And they trade off and they go at it. And they know each other well, and they admire one another. So they're competitors on the mat, and they wrestle hard, and then they're giving each other hugs after the match. It's really cool to see. 2 of those interesting wrestlers to me are Addie Rudolph from Central Crossing and Emma Reinhardt from Mount Vernon. Both of those girls are the girls that I mentioned are the 2 state place winners that are in this bracket. The only 2 state place winners in this bracket. Reinhardt took 3rd last year at this weight, and Rudolph took 3rd last year at 105, and she comes up to 115. So 2 bronze medal winners, again, familiar with each other. Rudolph ranked ahead of Reinhardt, but Reinhardt beats Rudolph in the district finals, in the regional finals, and punches her ticket to the shot. Now, Rudolph, and again, Reinhardt has wrestled Rudolph many times before, and they do have a history of going back and forth. Rudolph has beaten Molly Wells, and Molly Wells is from Delaware. So even though Delaware went to a different region, Central Ohio, close-knit group, and two big teams, and they've seen each other there. So the reason why I mentioned Wells and Reinhardt is because if the seeds hold and the brackets hold in this quarterfinals, the second round at the shot, I want you to watch for that Wells-Reinhardt match. I mentioned Rudolph, but I meant Emma Reinhardt, honestly. Reinhardt from Mount Vernon, she's peaking well. She had a great state tournament last year. Very solid wrestler, has massively improved, and then really kicked it into gear at the state tournament. I feel like she's kind of doing that now, too, just kicking it into gear by beating Rudolph, who's very sound herself. So we got Reinhardt and Wells in that district. In that section. I'll get it right. It's in that second round at the shot. So keep your eye on that match if it holds true. Other than that, just look for maybe some what we would consider upsets on paper in this bracket, because I feel like there's a lot of familiarity, as I mentioned, and these girls are evenly paced. So that's your 115-pound preview. Enjoy it.